Hey everyone, my name is Roy Kim, and I'm a coach and I'm a therapist, but this video should not be as therapy. Today I want to talk to those of you who have betrayed your partner and you're trying to rebuild trust. I especially want to talk about how the upcoming holidays can be overwhelmingly painful for the person that you hurt. And this topic matters deeply to me because I personally experienced betrayal trauma on a Thanksgiving night many years ago. Now, your situation may be very different from mine. In fact, every couple story is unique. It has its own form and shape. In my case, I chose not to pretend to my family and friends that everything was okay. In fact, I told them everything that had happened, and thankfully they were very supportive of me, and so I didn't have to hide. But I also know so many people who feel pressured to put on a mask and to act fine in front of their family and friends, even while they're just decaying inside. So my hope today is to bring some respectful attention to that reality, and to give you, the offending partner, some real-world options that you can offer to your partner this holiday season. I called this channel Let's Figure It Out because I like to use these little Lego figures to help visualize situations, and today's going to be no exception. I'm going to be using these to help visualize what it's like around the holidays and when we have some holiday gatherings. So I'll use the example of a straight couple where the offending partner is a man. So let's say this one represents you, the offending partner. So you are someone who wants to repair, but you might be unsure of how to support your partner in high pressure situations. And this one here represents the betrayed partner, overwhelmed, really trying to hold it together, maybe smiling on the inside, but actually hurting on the inside. And on the inside, it really just feels like this. And then I'll bring in the group that represents these social gatherings. So let's say this represents the social gatherings. So let's take a moment to talk about why holidays are so hard after betrayal. Well, holidays are difficult because they often come with a lot of social expectations. So in this person's case, when you gather for the holidays, you are expected to be happy and present and sociable, and just basically you're expected to be normal. But inside, a betrayed partner might feel grief, shame, rage, fear, darkness. And they're expected to hide all of that in front of their family members or their friends. And this might be a situation where no one knows what's going on. So let me visualize this for you. So what does pretending look like for this person? They have to do this in front of them. So let me ask you, what do you think this feels like for her? That pressure to perform can feel suffocating. And they got to do this for 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, maybe overnight, maybe a whole week if you're going like out of state to visit with family and friends. And so I think your willingness to see reality and then to take action really matters here. So I want to give you a few options that you can offer to your partner. Again, these are not demands in any way. These are just ideas that you are suggesting, and it's your way of saying that you're trying to think of ways to help your partner because you got your partner into this mess in the first place. All right. So option one could be, I guess we could call it the exit plan. All right. So let's say here's a gathering. We're all here together. I don't know. Let's say that this is the door. This is the door out. All right. So in the exit plan, option one, you can say to her, "Hey, if at any moment during this gathering, if you feel overwhelmed and you just need to get out, just give me a signal and we'll leave." No guilt, no questions asked, no saying, "Hey, can we just stay a little bit longer? But what about the gifts? But what about the dessert? What about the tradition afterwards?" No. If at any point you want to leave, I will give you no guilt, no pressure, no explanation, just basically saying, "Sorry, we got to go." All right. Obviously, that comes with there may be some fear on your part, but we'll get to that later. But that's just option one. You're basically telling this person, you are not trapped under any means. If you want out, let's go. We'll go together. Okay? Option number two. This is, I guess you could call this the split plan. So if we rewind, in the split plan, you guys come in separate cars. The cars are parked right out here. And we will stay for a short while. And if at any point you feel overwhelmed, just say the word. You can feel completely free to go, and you can go home if you want to. You can go out with your girlfriends if you want to. You can go to your family or whoever else. You could just hop onto your car and you're out. And you can go wherever you'd like, and I'll hang out for a little bit longer. And so this allows your partner to show up briefly without being forced to endure the entire event. So that's option two. It's the split plan. Option three. This is the two-path plan. So in this plan, maybe you decide to go, but the other person doesn't go at all, and you are with your friends or whoever else that you choose to be with. And you don't have to go at all. I will go on my own. I will protect your privacy. I will protect your integrity. I will make sure that no one asks anything of you. If they do ask anything of you, I will share with them the predetermined reason that we came up with in our discussion at home prior to going to the party. And what this does is it validates their emotional bandwidth, or maybe it validates their lack of emotional bandwidth. It really does honor what their limits are. Option 4, we don't go at all, and we do something, just us. If you don't want to spend time with me, that's okay. You can feel free to do what you like to do. If there's kids involved, maybe it's just the four of us. But we're not going to go to this gathering. And that's that. Option 5. Option 5 is some variation of telling them the truth. And basically, there's no more mask, and you're going as is. And because everyone now knows the truth, they don't have any expectations of either of you. Will it be a very different kind of holiday party? Of course. There's no pretense. It might be a little bit somber. They might be asking a lot of questions. It could be this version. It could be that this person is so broken up, they're at home, and this person decides to go, but basically tells them, this is what I did. And I'm sorry I wrecked your party, but this is our reality. This is truth in its most real form. And maybe there is something good that comes from this because they are healthy people. Maybe there is an option 6 or 7 that you both can think of. But I just want to let you know that your betrayal of her, of your partner, likely took all power away from your partner. And as you offer options to your partner, it's one small step towards giving his or her power back. Before you present any of these options, I do recommend that you talk them through with your therapist, if you have one. Because I think your therapist can help you phrase these options in a way that matches your relationship to your partner. It matches your unique history with your partner, and your therapist can help you anticipate maybe how your partner might receive them. Or if you have a couples therapist, maybe you go together and you can bring up the options at your next appointment. So I realized that there can be some pushbacks on what I'm presenting today, and I definitely respect pushbacks. They are part of the process, and so I want to see whether I can come up with a few common pushbacks and see if I can answer them in the best way that I can. So these are at least 2 things that you may be thinking. Pushback number 1 might be, but people will ask questions if we leave early or we skip out altogether, or maybe one person stays and the other person has to go. So let's talk about this, especially within Asian American families. Many of us were raised with the idea that harmony is the greatest virtue, right? Keeping the peace. Don't make waves. Don't shame the family. Don't burden others with your struggle. In many ways, those values can be beautiful until they're not beautiful. This is, in my opinion, a real exception to keeping that rule of keeping the peace. This is a major relational breach. And when a major relational breach happens, such as infidelity, betrayal, some sort of secret sexual behavior, I really think that harmony and saving face can only carry you so far. And there's got to be a point where the harmony that we're trying to maintain is really just performance. And this performance is held up by the person who is hurting the most. This person right here. That's not harmony. That's suppression. That's cruelty. And here's the truth that I think we need to hold on to as the person who caused the harm. Your partner should not have to betray themselves in order to preserve the appearance of harmony for everyone else. Does that make sense? Especially not on a holiday, especially not for the sake of extended family who may have no idea what's happening behind the scenes. I mean, honestly, you, the offending partner, created this situation. You created this disruption. And so it must be you who prioritizes the emotional well-being of your partner over any sort of traditions, over saving face, over pretending that everything is fine. We have to really think about, where does true harmony come from? Is true harmony mostly performative? If so, it kind of sucks. But maybe there's a different way to create harmony. Maybe true harmony comes from truth. Maybe it's built upon truth and repair and humility, care for people. And we're not building it off of silence, this person's silence, or this person's performance. So that's pushback number one. Pushback number two might be, won't offering options to my partner make things more awkward? In other words, like, you feel like you don't want to make things worse by bringing up the betrayal again. So a lot of people do fear this. But again, I think we need to try to be as honest as we can. You're not creating awkwardness by bringing up the situation in a very realistic way. The trauma was already created. The trauma was already created by the betrayal itself. And your partner is already carrying so much tension and shame and pressure to perform and look like everything's just fine during the holidays. And so when you offer options like, do you want to stay home? Would you rather go for a shorter time and then leave? Would you rather not go altogether? Do you want an exit plan? It's like, when you offer options like this, you're not adding discomfort. I think the opposite can be said, and that is, you're inviting them to regain some agency. And that agency is something that your betrayal took away from them. Will it feel clumsy or awkward at first? Yeah, I think so. But feeling awkward doesn't mean that it's the wrong thing to do. I think what actually creates more harm is assuming that she's going to be fine, or just kind of like hoping that she's going to be fine, pretending that things are normal in front of other people, making decisions for her, like unilaterally, to, again, quote unquote, keep the peace. I really think that offering choices communicates that you, the offending partner, are serious about wanting to repair with her. So here are some closing thoughts as we wrap up here. I really think that the holidays and these social gatherings actually reveal a lot about us. They reveal things about our automatic thoughts and our decision making. They reveal a lot about how we are deathly afraid of how we appear to other people, especially our parents or extended family or friends, our pastor. It reveals what we prioritize. And for someone who has caused harm, like it or not, I think this holiday season, or holiday seasons in general, tend to be kind of like a magnifying glass on your choices and on your character. And that could feel heavy, I know that. But also consider that this can be an opportunity for you to start a new path for yourself. I think the old path got you into this predicament in the first place. And it's time to rethink your path. And if you really want to go on a new path in your life, maybe this new path is marked by courage and honesty. Maybe it's really built on this desire to create safety for the people that you love and that you are committed to. And honestly, yes, you might lose some important things along the way. These are things that have been with you for a long time. Reputation, again, optics, maybe relationships to certain people. This is where the whole leave and cleave theme can get brought back to your attention. You're kind of rethinking, like, have I really left? And I know that in Asian families that is like really hard to think about. And I'm not saying that it needs to be like done the Western way. I'm just thinking that there's got to be a more creative way to have actual harmony with your family of origin as well as your nuclear family than the path that you've chosen so far, which is strictly or maybe mostly built upon optics. But even as you lose some things in the process, you might gain some priceless things along the way. You might even gain the trust of the person that you hurt the most, or your children. Again, I recommend that you talk all this over with your therapist if you have one. And yeah, if you found this video to be helpful in any way, I'd love to know. Please leave a comment. Love to interact with you. And I hope to see you next time on Let's Figure It Out.